Let's say Alex is the executive. Okay, Alex's job is to do the same thing, right? Check the cases that has been assigned to him, talk to the executive, and solve those queries. So Alex should have a profile, right? So what we do is we normally create a new profile for the users. Okay, let me go ahead and create a new profile. A couple of things that you have to note down here. Okay, so make sure you write it down. First of all, whenever you create a custom profile, let me create a custom profile called floor executive. Okay, I'll copy the same thing here, paste it. See, whenever you create a new custom profile, you always have to copy that profile from an existing one, right? So whatever you have in the existing profile, you should come and sit into your new profile, and then after that you can customize on top of it. Okay, so most of the time what we do is we as an admin copy the profile called standard users, right? So let me just copy the profile from the standard user profile. So the new profile that I'm creating, named floor executive, is been copied from standard user profile. Two things you have to consider here. One, whatever you have in the standard user profile will definitely come and sit into your floor executive profile. Second, see, every profile will definitely have a license. You get it? If I go back to the profile page, let me show you this. Check this carefully. Okay, every single profile you see here has a license, right? Even your system administrator profile has a license called Salesforce. And guess what? Your profile license, I hope that you are noting it this sound, right? Your profile license and your user license has to be exactly same. What I mean is, let's say you are giving Alex as a Salesforce platform license. Okay, and the profile that you're creating for Alex is having Salesforce license, because you're copying it from standard user, and standard user by default has Salesforce license, right? So the custom profile will also have Salesforce license. Now if that is the case, then you can never and ever assign this floor executive profile to Alex. Why? Because Alex is having Salesforce platform license, and the profile that you have created for Alex has something different license. You got the point? So profile license and the user license has to be exactly same. Then only you can match, you can assign the particular profile to the user. So this is first thing. If you think that your business user has standard platform profile, Salesforce platform profile, make sure you copy one existing profile which has the same license. Okay, because most of the time you might be working with the Salesforce license user only. So I'm just copying the Salesforce license user, like the standard user, clicking on save. Now this page is very important for you as an admin. You as an admin would be spending most of your time over here in this page. Okay, because as an admin we get so many requests saying this user is having these extra accesses, this user is not having this access. So how do you go and fix it? You have to go to the profile of that user and fix those things. So profile is where you as an admin would be spending most of your time. So let's understand each and everything that you get to see in this profile page. First of all, this profile name is floor executive. Okay, this is a custom profile because I'm just creating. Yeah, this profile has the Salesforce license because I copied it from standard user profile which had the same Salesforce license. Now there are two pages. Okay, when you see the profile, this is called profile detail page, by the way. Profile detail page where you are not editing the profile page, right? This is without edit. So if you don't click on this edit button, you see some different options over here. But the moment, let's say this page layouts, we haven't been discussed about this page layout yet. We have a big session on page layout and record type, but let's say this page layout and this field level security, right? All these things are part of the detail page. You get it? If you click on this edit button, that page layout, the field level security will go. You can't see this here in this edit page. Make sense? Sometime, you know, when I was like was doing the Salesforce admin for the first time, I was looking for this you know, page layout, and there's something called record type a lot in the same page, but I was editing that profile, and I was not able to find where is that record type and page layout page. So you have to make sure that you are there if you want to access these like page layouts, record type, or the field level security stuff. Then you have to be in the detail page, not the edit page. Now let me just quickly edit this page. If I edit this page, I get to see a couple of options. Let's talk about it. The first level of access that you can assign in the profile is the application setting, right? So what are those applications? If you click on the 9 dots, you get to see so many applications. You remember we created one application called Homely, Food. We created one application called School, correct? All these are application. Now let's say Alex is going to be the floor executive. So floor executive will have access to only the application called service application, nothing else. So uncheck everything. You got it? All these are application, all these are standard and custom application that you have inside your org. And if you think that your business user will have access to only service org, this is the service org, service application, then make sure you just check the service application and remove everything. Can you guess what is this default radio button? Okay, so the default radio button is basically, let's say, suppose I made this sales application as the default. Okay, so whenever what do you mean by I means the user who has this who has assigned this profile, right, will be landing into the sales application every time whenever he logs in, because that's the default application for him in the profile. Got it? Then it comes to tab setting. What is the tab setting? See, these are the tabs we discussed, right? Every single custom object when you create, if you don't create the tab, then you cannot access that object. The outlet is the object definitely, but outlets is what? Is the tab name. You have created the tab. That's the only reason you are able to access that object. You are able to, you know, create the data inside that object, or you're able to view the existing data inside the object. Why? Because you have access to the tab. Now, if you want to access, if you want Alex to, let's say, access the account tab, just select the default on option. You know what is default on, default off? Default on means basically whenever, you know, let's say the account application, account tab is being given access to the sales application, and I am there in the sales application. So automatically it will show me over here in the sales application, this tab list here. That means default on. Default off means you have to go to that pencil. You remember that pencil, right? Where you have to go and, you know, get that tabs on, right? That is like default off. So default off means you have to go to that pencil and get the tab available in the list, right? That's called default off. And there's one more option called tab hidden. You know what is tab hidden? Tab hidden means you can never ever access this. So this tab is totally hidden for that users, that bunch of users who is going to have this profile assigned, right? Tab hidden means even though if you go to this pencil option, you'll not be able to get the tab on, or you can't access the tab, correct? So if you don't have access to the tab, then you can never ever see the existing data, or you cannot create the data if you don't have access to the tab from the UI. By the way, if you are a developer, you can write code and insert, update, delete, view all the data from the backend. That's different. But from the UI, if you want to click and see the data, create the data, you have to have access to the tab. So tab is very important. Okay. So I hope this tab, default, on, off, and hidden, this thing is clear. Let's move on to the next one. See, administrative permissions, right? Let me just remove this. Administrative permissions is nothing but this admin level security. Okay, we are talking about profile. Profile is admin level security plus object level security plus field level security. What is admin level security that we're discussing here? Admin level security is For an example, let's say the managers, right? These managers will be able to create reports by themselves. They will not be dependent for the admin to create the report and they will be able to view. No, managers should have option to create the report. Then where do you go and define that access for the managers? You as an admin will go to the manager profile, okay, and search here. So this is what I do, right? Whenever I have to do something with the profile, because administrator option, if you see, there are so many options are there. Okay, if you scroll down, there are a number of options, right? So what I do is basically, let's say I have to do something related to the report. I come to this page, Control F, report. If you search with report, right, you'll see all the options related to the report. Now I got an option called manage reporting snapshot. I don't think this is the option which will help the managers to create the reports. So I will just go to the second report, manage report in public folder. No, not this one. I will again search create. Yes, create and customize report. See, these lines are, I mean, these options are pretty much clear to you, right? If you read this option, it tells you clearly what it can do. And you also have a button like I button where you can see the details, right? So create and customize report, this checkbox, if I make it available, right, if I make it true for the manager profile, then anybody who has the manager profile will be able to create or customize the report, right? Very simple. So these all are the administrative level permission, like what kind of access that you will have inside the org. You define it in the administrative options, correct? And then finally you have something called object level security. Here's that. Object level security says that there's an object called account and the profile that I'm creating named floor executives. So everybody who has the floor executive profile, they will have, suppose, only read access to this account. Means they can only view the data. They cannot create, they cannot edit, they cannot delete. So this is the access. What do you mean by object level access? An object has read access, create access, edit access, delete access. What kind of access you are assigning in the profile is called the object level access. Okay, suppose the managers will have edit, delete, create, all the accesses. So you will go to the manager profile, and in the manager profile you will check all the boxes. So managers can not only view but also create and edit and delete. Clear? So this is basically object level access. Object level security and record level security, don't get confused. Object level security is what you can do with the object. Can you create the data? Can you delete the data? Or do you have edit access to that object? That's called object level security. Record level security is basically which record you will have access. It's just record, okay? And this is called object level security. I hope there is no confusion between object level security and record level security, right? Next thing is these two checkboxes, which is very, very important here. View all checkbox and modify all checkbox. Any guess what this checkbox can do? Let me tell you this. When I started as an admin long back, right, and that time there was not many resources in the internet, right? So somehow this checkbox for one of my profile was checked, maybe by me or by some other colleagues, I don't know, but I spent almost like entire day just to find out what was the problem. And then I found out there's a view all checkbox, which is actually, creating all this problem. Okay. So, and now it just comes, right? I mean, in these kind of situation, if you get right now, you just search in Google, you'll get in the first option, in the first link where you'll get why it is happening. But that time there were not many resources in the internet. But view all and modify all checkbox. If it is true, let's say this checkbox is true, view all, then even though, understand this line, okay, this is very important. Even though your organization wide default of account is private, your organization wide default of account is private. That means what? That means only the owner will be able to see the data. But if you by mistake click on this checkbox, then anybody who has this particular profile, even though organization wide default is private, still everybody who holds this profile will be able to view every single account data. Why? Because view all checkbox is true in the profile. So view all checkbox will override the organization wide default. And I think you can guess what is the modify all. Modify all basically, even though you have organization wide default access as private, you don't have access to the data. Still, if this checkbox is true, then you can not only view everybody's data inside the org. If you have like billions of record in this account, every single record you can access. Not only access, you can delete also, right? You can modify as well, like edit, delete. Now the question to use this, I have for this 4 profile for the current example. What do you think, you as an admin, which profile should have these 2 checkboxes true? Super admin. Even the managers also will not have access, because there could be like multiple managers, right? And one manager will not be able to see other managers data and other subordinates data, right? So managers also might not have the view all, modify all checkbox true. Ideally this modify all checkbox and view all checkbox, right, we give access to the admin, right? Data administrator or admin people will have. So super admin, yes, super admin will have access to these checkboxes because they are the admin, so they can access everybody's data. Okay, so I think this all these checkboxes you are pretty much clear. Let me tell you one more thing. There is another checkbox called modify, modify all data. Do you see this checkbox? If this checkbox is true, understand the difference between modify all data checkbox and this modify all checkbox. This modify all checkbox, if you select, that means any account data you will have access. Whoever has this profile will be having access to any account data only, not other object data. But if you check this box called modify all data, that means for every single object you'll be able to modify, not for only accounts. So that checkbox is only for the system administrator, not for everyone. So make sure this checkbox is definitely false for the business users. Okay, like that we have another checkbox called view all. You see this over here, view all data. So if you check this box called view all data, that means whoever has this profile will be able to view every single object's data. It's not that only for account, all the objects data. All right, so this view all and this view all checkbox is different. I hope this is clear. What is the difference between these two? These like small thing you have to be very careful, because if in case you are appearing if in case you are appearing for the administrator 201 exam, certification exam, you will definitely get these question, okay, in the exam, right? So profile and security has, I think, 10% of weightage, I believe. So 10% means at least you'll get like 7-8 questions from these entire record level security profile and all.